Are you struggling to generate leads in this crazy economy? Well, in this video, we're going to break down the exact step-by-step strategy of how you can overcome this main objection that most people have in the real estate business of how do I generate more leads? Well, I'm going to tell you. What's up, everybody? My name is Henry Eisenstein, and if you don't know who I am, I've been a part of over $400 million worth of real estate transactions, and I'm only 28 years old. And in this video, again, we're talking about how to generate more leads in this ridiculous economy. So I wanted to focus on just two specific things. So I'm going to try to keep this video short and sweet so you guys can get back out there and start making some calls. So two main things. I'm going to talk about, the warm lead side, and I'm going to talk about the cold lead side. So let's talk about cold leads for a quick second. For cold leads, there's really only so many ways that you're going to generate business, right? So many of you guys are open to cold calling because I'm a big cold caller, so you guys know that. What I want you guys to think about this is that these are three awesome specific places that I'm getting, I wouldn't just say my data, but I'm saying these are the three specific lists that I'm focusing on right now where my team and I are seeing great success. So first and foremost is high vacancy properties. So these are properties that when my team's driving around, I tell them to drive around for dollars all the time. I think it's a really impactful thing. We try to mix match it with pulling lists. So what I want you all to be doing is take a quick second, and if you think about high vacancy properties, what does that look like? And when you're driving around, make sure you have an eye out for it. So high vacancy properties means, they're run down, they got a for rent sign in the window from probably from a seller, those for rent by owners. What happens is that these high vacancy properties is going to be a key opportunity because listen, if they're not generating income right now off of property, they're probably going to want to hear a good number on it. Make sure you check out some high vacancy properties. The second thing I want to focus on is the ones that are out-of-state owners. We've been able to pull some lists from out-of-state owners, and they're fantastic opportunities because if that property is being mismanaged, if the property's not bringing in the money they want to be bringing in, if the property's kind of run down, if they're not keeping up with it, if they don't have good management in place, it can honestly be a pain in the tail of the out-of-state owner. So if you're talking to somebody who lives out of state and their property, for me in Jersey, a lot of people own properties out of state, specifically on the residential side. If you think about out-of-state owners, by the way, this is really powerful for a lot of people in the residential world. Like Jersey as an example, a lot of people own shore homes. Okay, so what my teams are doing is we're doing a lot of prospecting in the shore communities, cold calling everyone who are out-of-state owners and say, hey, this is a great opportunity where the economy's still kind of holding on tight. This could be an opportunity for you to capitalize and possibly getting a fantastic price for your property while it's just sitting vacant for the next few months. We're finding great success with that. And by the way, this blends with a vacancy, right? This is a vacancy property. This property is vacant for a large percentage of the year if it's a second home. A lot of people might want to consolidate and sell off their second homes. So this is very, very common with the same thing on the investment side where, again, out-of-state owners, they're going to have those extra properties where, again, if they're not managed right, could be a great opportunity for you to capitalize on. And again, there's a lot of opportunities here, again, when it comes to the mortgage world, where properties right now have specific loans that have maturity dates, which basically just means that there's going to be a balloon payment that is due. A lot of investment properties, specifically commercial, have 5 or 10 year mortgages on them, even though it's amortized over 30 years, which means you have a 30-year amortization, but there's a balloon payment of the entire balance due at the end of 5 or 10 years, typically 10. What ends up happening in these circumstances is that if somebody's maturity date, their balloon payment, is coming due in 2023, which there's over $1 trillion of maturity, of loans that are going to be maturing in just 2023 alone. If that is the case, and you can sort on CoStar, Reonomy, there's a lot of softwares these days that you can sort by maturity date, and if it's coming up in 2023, they might want to sell and desperately want to sell. So make sure you check those out. It's going to be an awesome opportunity to get some cold calls. So again, that's the cold lead side. Let's talk about the warm lead side. These are three specific criteria that my team has, again, been shifting into for a little while that we've seen a lot of success in. Number one is developers. Developers these days are still looking for land to build, properties to build, right? So if you're getting massive value out of this video and you want to work with me personally, make sure you check out the first link in the description down below and schedule your free consultation with myself and my team. If you can find great opportunities for developers to take charge, which even if they're buying, I have people who just buy the properties that are, basically from one individual who did all the entitlements and got the property now shovel ready and selling it to another investor who will do the construction work, right? And you can kind of mix these people together, and I'm building, being able to put together a lot of great deals this way, where in the development world, there's a lot of opportunities these days, especially in key markets, where you need to find out the key markets that there's a lot of development going on, and I would focus on finding great opportunities in those areas, right? So specifically, again, that's obviously in the commercial side a little bit, but in the residential side, if there are properties in great areas right now, right? So your Class A areas, your really nice areas, you can find the diamond in the rough in those great areas, which by the way, can probably come from calling out-of-state owners who own properties in those areas, and maybe it's not their primary residence. residents. There's an awesome area, one town over from where I live right now, that I am looking to move into. It's an awesome area, great neighborhoods, high price point, luxury market. I'm looking to move there. Now what I'm doing is that I am calling all of the out-of-state owners who own property there, trying to find the diamond in the rough in those areas where I can buy it, gut renovate it, make it beautiful, and have, again, build a lot of equity from day one. That's my intention there, right? So anyways, again, key area here to focus on, like, that's the development opportunity, commercial and residential. The next person I want you to start networking with, we talk about developers here, but I want to talk about specifically owner occupants. So on the commercial side, owner occupants here are very, very crucial. So people in the cannabis business, cannabis is blowing up here in New Jersey, so focusing on people in the cannabis business, so making sure you make great connections there. People in the logistics business, e-commerce, manufacturing, there's just a lot of opportunities in these different markets where you're going to be able to capitalize in the commercial world on opportunities that people aren't paying attention to, because people who are owner occupying properties are willing to pay more than an investor. So if an investor is still stuck on 2 year ago prices, and same thing with the seller. If the seller's also stuck on prices a year ago, the owner occupants are willing to pay a premium because they need to find property ASAP, and they're not looking for a crazy return. It's more about occupying the space, okay? So on the residential side, this is actually very interesting, where an owner occupant person who's looking to buy a 2, 3, or 4 family, those individuals who are looking to buy a property with an FHA loan, so this is gonna be an individual who's anywhere between probably 25 and 35, single, maybe someone who's engaged or just newly married, where they can be in an apartment for just a few more years. This is going to be an individual who can pay more for a multifamily than an investor can. So again, focusing on key markets right now where people, again, as owner occupants, can pay more than an investor. Last but not least, I'm going to say 1031 exchanges. So again, obviously, this can be a little bit more focused on the commercial side, but I'll explain something on the residential side that'll be able to help you out. So on the commercial side, 1031 exchanges is when they have to sell a property. They're going to sell X property, take the money, and then move it into Y property, right? So they're selling one, moving it into another, and they're not going to touch the money. So it's a tax exchange, which allows them to not pay really any taxes on the gains, because they're just moving the gains into the next property. They have to buy, and they also have to pay they're willing to pay a premium because they only have X amount of time in order to move the money, right? So they're willing to pay a premium for certain properties. So on the residential side, the way I kind of look at this is those out-of-state owners, right? There's a lot of people, so in New Jersey as an example, there's a lot of people who buy properties down the shore who as second homes or shore houses for these individuals who live in New York. So what we've been able to do is connect with a lot of high net worth individuals who are looking for second homes down by the shore where they might be able to get a great deal right now. So obviously people in finance, they're either making a killing right now or they're making nothing, right? Like there's a lot of people in finance who are struggling to make a couple bucks. But for the people who are making great money and a couple different entrepreneurs that we've been able to connect with in different industries, they're doing fantastic. So they're looking to buy their next shore home down, again, down by me. So figure out what areas are people buying from to buy in your area. So like, again, Miami as an example. There's a lot of people moving from, a lot of out-of-state people are buying in Florida. A lot of people out-of-state are buying in a lot of these different communities. A lot of people, even if it's 2 hours north or 2 hours in whatever direction, they're buying in your community that are not from the area. Those people will be willing to pay a little bit more money than the locals. That's what ends up driving up prices anyways. People who are moving into the area who just, again, people in New York who buy properties out by me think the properties they're just a lot cheaper because they're buying a condo for $2 million at the size of a bedroom. When they come out here and they buy a 3,000 square foot home for $2 million, they're like, this is freaking amazing. I'll do it no problem. You understand my point? The out-of-state buyers are going to be individuals, just like a 1031 exchange, where they're going to have to buy something and they don't care so much about the price. Not that they have to buy something, but they're going to be less concerned about price because to them, they might think it's a great deal anyways. You understand my point here? You have to shift the thinking just a little bit. So these are some awesome things that my teams that I have been focusing on over the last 6 months that we've seen great success with. If you want to see great success, try to implement it in your business. Other than that, guys, listen, if you love the content today, make sure you like and subscribe. As always, if you have any questions, put it in the comment section down below. We'd love to answer all the questions. And I love you so very much, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take care.